Hi everyone, and welcome to Screams After Midnight. This is the horror movie podcast here on the Mild Fuzz Podcast Network. I'm Peter Bradley, and joining me as always is Tim Vargulish.
Hello, Pete. Pete. I was gonna say it's a pleasure to be here, and then I mix Pete with pleasure, which is something people usually don't do. And
the insults are coming thick and fast already.
How dare you? How dare you?
I like how that started with Tim messing up a sentence, and it ended in an insult to Pete. How does he do it?
How dare you? I altered your name in a fun way, got the ball rolling, and you came back with personal attacks.
it's great to be here.
Fuck off, Tim. Also here, this week is Connor Ryan.
I'm back once again.
Nothing scarier than a ginger.
It's been a while.
Has been a while. Alright, so every week we talk about a horror movie. Sometimes it's a new movie. Last week we did The Forest. I'm still recuperating from that traumatic experience. But this week we're going to go back to the 80s, and that I actually didn't intend this to happen. I didn't even know this was a thing, but apparently today is International Women's Day. And it just so happens that we're doing a movie that's directed by a woman.
About vampires. Oh, that too.
Yeah, we're doing a movie directed by a woman, Catherine Bigelow, who of course went on to do The Hurt Locker and Zero Dark 30 and a bunch of other movies that are a lot more mainstream and Oscar friendly and things like that. She once upon a time did a vampire romance horror movie called Near Dark, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So as always guys, full spoilers for the movie as we talk about it. And it's kind of a shame that we did this post-Kevin era, because I feel like Kevin would have enjoyed this movie.
So many puns.
There was puns. I was thinking more the synth score would have been
Both.
would have been for him. But
I loved the score though.
yeah, so did I. Yeah,
Really
this was Tangerine Dream who did the score, and it's and I hadn't watched this. I watched this for the first time on DVD. Back when I was like really just getting into collecting DVDs and horror movies and seeking this stuff out, back in like 2005 or 6, so it was about 10 years ago, right? I can't be exact, but it was around that time. And I don't think I'd watched it since. And I remembered loving the movie, but for some reason it's just one of those things where I never, put it on again. And we decided last week we'll do Near Dark, and I put it in. Still in DVD, because there is a Blu-ray technically, but the Blu-ray is like an upscale job, so it's worthless buying it. No point. So I want a proper Blu-ray, because watching something in standard definition hurts my soul.
Do you know what? I'd never seen this before, and I was a last-minute jump in today. I was like, all right, I'll get a hold of the movie, go and find it, and I'll watch it. And I'm so glad I volunteered to jump in as a replacement, because I love this movie.
Yeah, it's a great movie. I really like it, because when I watched it today, I was... as soon as the music started at the start, I was like, "Oh yeah." I'm reminding myself now how I felt. This is
It's
great.
such a romantic score.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
it's
a good 3/4 of it is all romantic music rather than horror or action or anything else.
Do you know what really hurts actually? Do you know see when they did the shitty Blu-ray and they re-released the DVD like 2-3 years ago?
Yeah.
They did a new cover for it, which was like Twilight inspired,
Of course it was.
Oh no.
to sell it to Twilight fans, and it hurt my soul. Hurt my soul.
Even the DVD kind of sucks. I went to, like, a lot of times when I watch these movies, I'll put closed captions on just because like I really want to make sure I'm paying attention to like everything they're saying, and the DVD doesn't even have like subtitles for it.
Yeah, actually, I think you're right. 'Cause
That's so strange.
I've got the UK DVD, but the UK DVD and the US DVD I think are identical because they're both the same company. So, yeah, that does suck. That's,
What a weird oversight.
yes. So that's
And
a shame.
especially because it's like such like a big like cult film too. Like I probably watched it for the first time around the same time you did, Pete. And one of the reasons why was because I had a lot of friends that were like big on horror and they're really into it, and I'd heard a lot of things about it being this kind of cool 80s cult film. So it definitely has like a a nice little following. So I'm surprised it's not a big like special edition release or something for it.
Well, I mean, the one I've got kind of is it's 2 discs. It's got a commentary. It's got like a like a 50-minute making of documentary and a bunch of other little things. So I mean,
Yeah.
it's a reasonable release. It's just that, you know, it's now 2016 and I want to watch it in 1080p.
True.
You want to stop being a little peasant and watch it properly.
Yeah, I feel like a poor person watching that. That's really small. But I do. I feel like I'm getting the dregs of something when I'm watching something standard def. Especially when it's a film that I actually do think is really beautiful. So it hurts
Oh,
when,
yeah.
when it's marred by, you know, just that slight sort of pixely look to it that you kind of get now.
That's one of the things I really enjoy about it too. Is just really the overall like setting and look to it. Like I love those kind of big, open, vast. Like, does it say where they are? That Texas or something?
Yeah, I think
assumed?
they're in Texas and the surrounding sort of
Yeah.
areas.
So there's like that big kind of like empty southern vastness. It looks really cool.
Yeah.
There's so many nice shots with the sun coming up or going down.
Yeah. You talked about the feel of the movie, and I would actually add this with the music and say that the entire film has a very dreamlike quality to it.
Oh yeah.
You know, you feel like the main character, Caleb, he's falling asleep and he's dreaming about this, you know, attractive vampire.
Yeah.
And
It's almost like a romantic dream that turns into a nightmare that he's
Yeah.
trying to like get away from.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. So I mean, that all works really well. And if I recall correctly, Catherine Bigelow once said that she wanted to do like a Western romance, but in the 80s, like horror was a really big thing. So she basically just combined it with a horror movie to, you know, so that it would get the audience, but she also got to do what she wanted.
Yeah, it makes sense. After with the ending of this film, you can totally see the Western influence.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So, yeah, we all seem to really like this movie, so we're all positive for a change, so that's nice. Let's start talking about some different things. Adrian Pasdar, who plays Caleb, who most people know now as one of the guys off Heroes. He's also in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. now, occasionally.
Okay.
As a general, or I can't remember what his exact title is.
He does a lot of voice work as well now.
Does he?
Yeah.
So he's in this. He's in his like mid-20s, early 20s or something. So there's only Adrian Pasdar. Most people would recognise the rest of the vampires though, because it's actually like half the cast of Aliens: Lance Henriksen, Bill Paxton, and Jeanette Goldstein.
Fucking Bill Paxton's character is,
He is
like the highlight
amazing.
of the movie.
Yeah, he is fucking everything he does. See the moment see when they all go out to kill different people in the middle.
Yeah.
And he like is hitchhiking. He's playing
Yeah.
with his gun, right? And then he does this thing where he's putting his thumb out to like
Yeah.
hitchhike, and he sort of goes into character and then sort of smiles
Yeah.
really cheesily, and I'm like,
It's
oh
like
my
slicking
god.
back his hair.
Yeah.
It's awesome because he's like the badass, but also like the comic relief, and like also kind of like the villain. It's like he's like everything.
everything,
in this
yeah.
movie. Yeah.
Yeah, he does steal the movie. He's every almost every exchange he has to anyone is like scene stealing. Obviously, everyone talks about the bar sequence when they talk about this film.
Oh yeah,
When
that is amazing.
Yeah, when everyone goes in and they start killing everyone.
Yeah, the Spurs to the neck was probably my
That's
favorite
great.
scene.
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
the movie.
Yeah, it's
It
really
wasn't
good.
my favourite scene, but it was great.
Yeah, I really like Spurs to the neck. I also really like Lance Henriksen, after Jeanette Goldstein like slits the girl's throat, and he like holds her over the glass and fills up the glass with blood.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I really like that stuff. So it actually gets some good violent moments. So for a movie that didn't really start, or at least the idea didn't start as being a horror movie, like it really gets the cool sort of violent element down quite
Yeah.
well for quite a lot of it. But yeah, so I mean the main story is essentially Adrian Pasdar falls in love with this vampire, kind of on a one dreamy night in, you know, whatever town they're in, and falls into this deep dark hole. And then the rest of the vampires want him to kill, to be proven to be one of them, or they're just going to kill him because, you know, baggage.
They almost seem like
Sounds
kind of
fair,
annoyed
really.
by him.
Yeah, it's as fair as you get when you're a bunch of undead fiends.
Pull your weight or fuck off, essentially.
So that's basically the gist of the plot, and it's basically Adrian Pasdar's character Caleb trying to like go through with it, but he's not really willing to give up his humanity.
Yeah.
You know, and then when he does finally get accepted to a degree, because he kind of saves their asses when the cops show up, it all just completely goes away once they run into his father and his sister. And by the way, the father is played by Tim Thomerson, who is actually quite a big cult actor. He went on to star in Dollman and Trancers, movies that I very much enjoy.
Oh,
So
I've never even heard of Trancers, but
I think you'd like it.
yeah.
He's a cop from the future who comes back in time and falls in love with Helen Hunt, and Will's stopping a bad guy from the future.
I thought you were going to say falls in love with Hitler.
I did too for a second. I don't know what it was about the way he was saying that.
Yeah.
No. Helen Hunt. He's mad about her or something. I'm sorry, that was a bad joke. That was a bad joke. I do apologise. But so it was nice to see him. I'd forgotten him was in this. And also,
And-
the kid vampire. Is that who you're going to get to?
Oh, yeah. What
on,
were
then.
you going to say about him?
I was going to say I really like him, and I like that he's technically
yeah.
an old guy in a kid's body because he's obviously been alive for however many years, and that when he sees Caleb's little sister, he's like, "Oh, daddy!" Like, and it's really weird.
I think that was my favorite scene because that was the scene that really sold the horror aspect of the movie for me, where it was like him looking at her like someone who would look like him, his age.
Yeah, so he can turn her. She can become immortal, and
Given time, and it was just that was the movie that sold the horror aspect of it. That this horrific idea of going after a kid just for his own selfish purposes and stuff.
Yeah. I think for me, because you're sort of on their perspective for the first 2/3 of the movie, and then the last third, it's when you kind of know they're going to come for him at the house because he gets cured, and that's actually something that's really unique to this movie. Is usually vampirism doesn't have a cure, but in this they decided no, blood transfusion can cure you. Which seems a little bit easy, but I think it's not really the point of the movie, so it's okay.
Yeah, it was. It seemed like a little weird and like out of nowhere and a little easy, but it's almost better though that they don't really gloss over it too much.
Well,
like
they're kind of
because it's
vague
not a
with
big
the
deal.
entire vampire mythology anyway.
Well, yeah, the characters clearly don't know what a vampire is because they never use the word, and like Caleb just says, "I've become something. I'm not human anymore." Like, he doesn't.
Yeah, he doesn't know how to describe himself.
Yeah.
And then, other than we see obviously they don't age and they die from sun, but we don't really see any of the other typical vampire things.
Yeah, wooden stakes, garlic, all that sort of stuff. Crosses even.
And there's nothing really. It's really vague about the whole thing.
I just forgot another thing I want to mention about Bill Paxton. The line "finger licking good" is like one of my favorite moments.
So good.
God, he steals this. I love Bill Paxton. Bill Paxton's great.
He's awesome.
He really is. Also, this movie made me really hungry because when Caleb, his dad, and his sister, no, not the blood stuff, but see when they're having dinner, like before they shop again at the end,
Yeah.
and they've got like mashed potato and like steaks and gravy and shit. I was just like, oh my god, I want.
I could go for a steak right now.
Yeah.
Oh goodness.
Also, is it common in the US to eat dinner right before bed?
No.
Yeah, because that always seems weird to me.
No, yeah, you want to get in right around like 5 or 6.
Yeah. It's usually 6 or 7. I'd usually have dinner, and I'm still up for like another however many hours after. In my case, usually a long time after because I'm about.
I just have it when I'm hungry because
yeah.
I'm just cooking for me most of the time. Just like, well, yeah, I'm hungry now.
That's fair. I really, even the standoff at the end, which you said brings in the Western elements, is also really good. Because they get his sister and he runs out and it's like he's in the truck. Now, admittedly, it's a little bit clunky that there's like that weird like scene in the truck earlier where the driver happens to explain how the
Oh yeah.
different brakes work and all that so that he can do this. But that sets a weird scene, like Bill Paxton getting like burned off and then climbing up the truck trying to get to him.
Yeah.
It's really good stuff. And then like but of course, I mean, it's of course a love story. I mean, it really is. And it's one of these things where I hate that Twilight has bastardized what we think of as a vampire love story. Like if you think of Twilight, a vampire love story now, your mind goes to Twilight, and it kind of hurts because Buffy did it amazingly. This does it in a different way, but amazingly. You know,
Let the right one in.
let the right one in. Oh yeah, no, that's a great example. And that's another one. We've not done that one yet, but that's another example where the horror element isn't necessarily the front of the movie. It's kind of it's seeded in throughout, and it's in the background, and you have to really think about it, and then you're like, oh shit, that's actually really scary.
It's kind of funny that you mention Buffy too, because it
Because he has
reminds me
to
of
mention
that.
a Whedon show.
But it reminds like when
Talking
they're
about
kind of
vampires, it's going to come up All right.
But just the way they're like driving around the car with like all the windows covered up and stuff, just kind of reminded me of when they used to do that in Buffy when like
Yeah, like
Spike
Spike
and
would
stuff
do
would
it,
be
yeah.
driving. Yeah,
And the coats over them and everything. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
That was another thing I really liked. I really liked the couple of scenes we had of like people like running on fire, like when they're out in the daylight. Especially
Yeah.
the kid at the end. When
yeah.
he's
At
like,
the end, that was a really cool shot.
yeah, he wants his eternal 9-year-old girlfriend, so he's like running through the street just on flames. Dear. No, it's great stuff.
Surprisingly, kind of a short movie. Like I was like, it felt like it moved very fast. Which is not a complaint.
Yeah, it's very succinct. I think it's not. Like, there's no filler. It's very. This is what
Yeah.
it's about.
I feel like it slowed down a touch just before the sister got kidnapped at the end. So like when everything was kind of all right for like 5 minutes.
Mm.
It literally lasted about 5 minutes, but it felt like it was almost at the end of the movie, and then there was like another section kind of thrown on there for a second.
Yeah,
I guess that's the conclusion though. You kind of need that.
Yeah,
last part.
yeah. It's just the way it pauses like a little bit too
And
long.
and that's kind of the where May, like, because May is a killer as well, like, because she's even though she's the one that he likes and she's definitely nicer than the other ones, she is willing to kill people.
Of course.
But you know, it's her saving the girl and him that makes you root for her as well. So that when he fixed her, I say fixes, but cures her of the vampirism at the end. You're like, yeah, okay, that's great, happy ending, nice.
Yeah.
So it's good. That's all the main big stuff. There was a moment I wanted to mention. What was it? I think it's when the cop like gets them at the bus station.
Yeah. Near the start.
yeah.
Yeah, I liked how he tries to eat the candy bar, and he throws it up, like he just can't do it, like he doesn't realise what he is yet, and he's just like, I like how it brings in the vampire elements, like we said, not like the big mythology things in your face, just
They're just there.
if you didn't know what this was and it was happening to you, this would be kind of your reaction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the only thing I noticed really was the when he was feeding off May, it felt like it was really like sexual almost,
Yeah.
which is an interesting choice because I don't think it's often like that.
Oh, I would disagree. I think that's quite a common thing.
I think it's more, but it's usually more predatory, whereas that felt like she was getting pleasure from it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, vampires tend to like the sort of perverted side of it always seems to come in a little bit. Like
It does,
yeah.
but usually it's.
But I'm going to go back to Buffy though, and this is relevant to what we're saying here. Like when they'd sire someone on Buffy, like they'd bite them, and then they'd have to like let the person bite them.
Yeah.
And I always remember that being quite sexual. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, not just because when Darla sired Angel, she shoved these, like, she did the cut right above her breast.
Yeah.
But like, even the way she was reacting to it, like that always felt like a really, it was an exchange of bodily fluids. So
Yeah, it's just, generally speaking, it's. I think 80% of the time it's like the man turning the woman, and it's kind of a predatory thing almost, and it's like they're subduing to them. Whereas in this, she was the one stood up and he was knelt down to her wrist, and she was the one getting the pleasure out of it. And I thought it was an interesting reversal from what I usually see.
Yeah, is it interesting playing the themes?
And I kind of liked when they all they're all going out hunting, and they're all kind of like have like their different victims that they're going after, and you can kind of just see.
Speaking of that, see the two guys who pull up Henriksen and Goldstein in the car.
Yeah.
Right. I just want to say to anyone, if a hitchhiker pulls you over and says, whatever direction you're going in, I could use a lift. What does he mean, whatever direction you're going? You can only want to go one way or the other. I don't care where I go, I just want you to take me somewhere.
I don't know. I could if it's bad weather, if it was something, depending on the situation. If it's raining, it's like, I don't care where you go in, I just want to be inside. I'd get
He
it.
just wants to get to the next city or something.
Yeah.
Also,
But,
I also just that scene. I really like how, Or the guy's pure like perving on Jeanette Goldstein, and he like puts his gun down her top and then kisses her. I like how in that entire scene, like neither her or Lance Henriksen seem annoyed or disgusted. Like, because in their head like we're about to fucking rip your throats out. So
Yeah.
you know.
It's like a last meal for them almost.
Yeah. Yeah, you sexually assault the girlfriend, even though it's a vampire and whatever. But like you go right ahead, because in a minute your throat's going to be in my hand. So
now that kind of reminds me. I don't know if this is completely true, but I think I've heard like someone else mention this, or maybe like a friend told me or something. That Lance Henriksen is a very method actor.
he is.
So
Yeah.
he would like always like be in character.
Do you
And I
want
guess
a bit of trivia for the Terminator surrounding him?
sure.
He was originally auditioning for the role of the Terminator,
Okay.
and for the audition, he showed up to the audition with he put like tinfoil around all of his teeth, so that when he smiled, he had like metal teeth.
Oh. So
Yeah, it's better.
that could actually make this more plausible then. But yeah, I had heard a story that Lance Henriksen was driving home like from like one of the days of shooting, and he was with someone. I forget who it was. Maybe it was Bill Paxton or something. But they're driving, and a cop car turned their lights on behind them, and like Lance Henriksen got like really like annoyed and was like should we fuck him up? Like he was like acting like he was his character, like he was like, you know, like should we take him? And like the guy was like, no.
Oh god! I want to go on a road trip with Bill Paxton.
That'd be
I
amazing.
just want Bill Paxton to interact with things and
Yeah.
just watch what happens.
That should be a TV show.
Oh god. Nah. So is there anything else we want to say before we any other scenes we want to talk about? Or
It really made me laugh in the bar scene when Bill Paxton's character is just giving like all those like redneck shit, and then like the guy like finally gets up and he just uses Caleb as like a shield. It actually reminded me of there's a really funny issue of The Punisher written by Garth Ennis where he was like fighting some villain on a rooftop, and like Spider-Man swings in and like gets knocked out, and then he just like Punisher picks Spider-Man up and uses him as like a shield, and the guy just keeps punching him like in the face. And it's a great issue.
I like when he was like edging on the rednecks, because it kind of flipped back and forth. He sort of did that thing where he started and then he pretended it was all a joke, and he was like, "Oh, give the man another one."
He's like, oh, I'm a dick, but I'm just kidding. I'm nice. Here, let me get you a drink. Oh no, I'm actually really a dick. And going back.
Yeah, he likes to play with that. Bill Paxton really or his character. His name I can't remember at this particular moment.
Severin.
Severin, there you go. He he's so gleeful in everything he does in this movie.
And
That's what makes it
it's
fun to
used, and it's used very well too. Like I like the restraint that it's like, you know, they weren't like, oh wow, this guy's great. Let's have every scene about him. Like you know, they used him very wisely. I felt like.
Yeah, I think it's a movie that's very well balanced. I don't think. So no, we kind of love this. So let's get to the ratings.
No, actually, wait. I have a quick
sorry.
question. Sorry.
Timmy's in.
That just made me think, though. You're mentioning like Catherine Bigelow's other movies, like earlier. Like, is there a reason why there's such a big gap between this movie and then like was Hurt Locker the next?
No, she had movies in between.
Just no one cared about them.
Yeah, I think she did. She had Point Break.
Oh, yeah.
So that's a big example. But she had movies in the 90s. She did a movie with Ralph Fiennes set in the future called Strange Days about VR. Funnily enough.
Oh.
So if you want to watch a movie that feels maybe a little bit dated now about virtual reality, you can watch that. So no, she does stuff, but for my money, and people who really love her Oscar stuff and all that, which are good movies, don't get me wrong, but this is my favourite Bigelow movie.
Oh yeah.
And I
haven't seen Hurt Locker, but out of this and 0 Dark 30, definitely this.
Yeah, I love this movie. So let's get to some ratings then. I feel like this might rank quite highly here. Connor, how many Spurs out of 10?
I'd give it a 9.
9. Cool. Timmy?
I'm gonna go just slightly lower, but still pretty high, 8.5.
Where do I fall? Honestly, I think I'm leaning towards a 9 as well now. I don't think I'd rated it 9 originally, but watching it again, and after all this time, it's holding up. It's perhaps even better on a second viewing.
Yeah.
So I'll go with a 9. So I think we're averaging out there about 8.8 or something like that.
It's too much maths for me.
Yeah, too much maths. Let's not do that. Alright, so that's Near Dark. We love it. Near Dark's a fantastic film. You should go check it out if you've never, seen it. It's a great 80s classic, and it's an 80s classic that's not a slasher movie. It's really unique, I think, in and of itself. So, definitely check it out. So, with that said, let us know what you thought of the movie in the comments below if you're on YouTube. If you're not on YouTube, or you want to do it elsewhere anyway, you can go to Twitter and tweet at us at mailed_fuzz. You can also send us an email at mailedfuzz@gmail.com. Of course, you can find all of us on various places on the interwebs. Connor, where can the good people find your ginger head?
Well, if they want to see me physically on Mild Fuzz videos, you can see me on 1080bit, the video games podcast that we do. And you can see that live on Saturdays on Twitch, twitch.tv/PeterBradley89, 7 p.m. UK time, and 2 p.m. Eastern. And other than that, you can follow me on Twitter and Letterboxd at ConnorRyan94.
Cool. Tim, where can people find you?
Social media stuff is at Tim Vargulish, and then comic book stuff, facebook.com/GoatmanComics.
Cool. You can find me on social media at Wibble89. You can also find me, of course, on other shows here on the network. We've got the regular movie podcast, 1.21 Gigawatts, which is on the same movies channel as this on YouTube. Of course, it's also on iTunes and Stitcher. But you can also head over to the Mailed Fuzz TV channel for all of the weekly TV reviews. We do all the superhero shows, at least most of them. And we do things like Better Call Saul and, Mr. Robot when it's back. We'll be doing that. So we do it.
11/22/63.
We do that right now. Yeah, that's on right now. We're doing that.
Great.
Seems relevant considering it's from Stephen King.
Very true. Very true. It's not one of his horror efforts, but it's...
Still counts.
Yeah, I'm not criticising. I'm just, for people who don't know what it is, it's about time travel and trying to stop the JFK assassination.
I don't watch a lot of TV, and I especially don't watch a lot of TV that's an hour long. So the fact that I really like this and have been watching it every day it comes out, I think is a good sign for it.
Very true. And of course, speaking of horror, we did do Ash vs Evil Dead, and Tim was on all those reviews, so you can check those out. Of course, all of that is part of the Almost Cancelled TV podcast, which you can get in iTunes and Stitcher if you don't want to watch the individual videos on YouTube. But either way, if you don't care about any of that and you just want to keep coming back here for horror movie reviews, that's fine too. We appreciate it. Help the show out. Share us, like us, subscribe, whatever else you do on YouTube or iTunes or whatever. And keep watching scary movies. We'll be back next week with something else.